At the start of my freshman year, I accidentally saved a little snake. That night, it came to my dorm looking for me. It said it was a snake immortal. To repay me, it could grant me 3 wishes. I was overjoyed. Just as I was about to speak, comments suddenly floated before my eyes. Go ahead, supporting character. Make a wish, and you will be done for. I am dying laughing. This is all the male lead scheme. The male lead bound the supporting character to a double reward system long ago. Whatever he wishes for, the male lead gets double. Who understands the joy of reaping rewards without lifting a finger? Then the male lead will effortlessly possess immense wealth and peerless good looks. He will win over countless female fans, while the supporting character suffers a terrible backlash and meets a horrific end. The words, 100 million yuan, died on my lips. I quickly changed my tune. I wish to get 8 hours of sleep every day. I wish to maintain a weight of 154 pounds. Good, my moment to turn the tables had finally arrived. In early September, summer heat still lingered on campus. I dragged a worn suitcase alone, making my way through the bustling crowd, utterly out of place among the polished new students. Meanwhile, my family's adopted son, my nominal younger brother, was walking ahead, surrounded by my biological parents. He wore the latest designer streetwear, an expensive watch, and a carefully styled haircut. He radiated arrogant superiority from head to toe. Beixian looked back, his voice impatient. Bro, hurry up. Stop dragging your feet. It is so annoying. Exactly. Can you move faster? The sun is blazing. Are you trying to bake your brother alive? Silently, I quickened my pace. My nails nearly dug into my palms. I was the Gu family's real son, but traffickers kidnapped me when I was 2. They sold me to a remote village. My adoptive parents were desperately poor, and they either beat me or cursed me. It was not until 3 years ago that I finally reunited with my biological parents and returned to the home that should have been mine. But I was not welcomed with the warmth of a lost child returned. Instead, there was awkwardness, disdain, and endless comparisons. Back then, I was painfully thin, with rough skin and unfashionable clothes. Beside the polished Beixian, I looked like a complete bumpkin. My parents had 3 separate DNA tests before reluctantly letting me through the Gu family's door. They said my manners were crude, that I was not even a tenth as graceful and proper as Beixian. They also said the countryside had turned me wild, and that I needed strict discipline. So most of the housework fell on me. Meanwhile, Beixian, the adopted son who had taken my place, remained the pampered young master who never lifted a finger. I once naively believed that if I worked hard enough, if I became good enough, I could earn at least a little love and approval from my parents. But what happened? I studied late into the night and rose 50 places in the rankings. Beixian took the exam without studying and rose 100 places. I earned a 5,000 yuan scholarship, and he immediately won a 10,000 yuan lottery prize. I worked myself to the bone exercising, running until I collapsed on the track. He gorged himself every day, yet remained tall and fit. Even this elite university, which I had fought desperately to enter, gave him a guaranteed admission spot without any effort. And by pure coincidence, he became my roommate. All my efforts seemed to exist only to highlight his natural good luck, until the 3rd day of freshman military training, when I accidentally saved a tiny silver-white snake on the field. A steel pipe had pinned down its tail. It was barely alive. I casually moved the pipe aside for it. It swiftly slithered away, vanishing without a trace. I thought it was just a minor incident. I never expected that small act of kindness to completely change my life. Late that night, my roommates were already asleep. Only I lay awake, tossing and turning, worrying about next month's living expenses. As my thoughts churned, a faint silver phantom suddenly floated before my bed. My whole body went rigid with fright. I nearly screamed. Moonlight filtered through a gap in the curtains, outlining the phantom. It was shaped like a snake. Its entire body was silver, with eyes as clear and deep as crystal. A cool, ethereal voice sounded beside my ear. Mortal, thank you for helping me earlier today. I am a snake immortal who was cultivated for 1,000 years. I suffered a calamity and became trapped here. You have shown me kindness. I can grant your wishes. To repay your kindness, I was completely stunned. My mind went blank. A snake immortal, wishes, something from a myth was happening to me. Had I gotten so hungry that I was hallucinating? I pinched my thigh hard. A sharp pain shot through me. This was not a dream. Carefully, I asked, Can I wish for anything? For example, lots and lots of money. The snake Immortal nodded, its eyes utterly calm. 100 million yuan. That was the first number that came to mind. With money, I would never have to live at anyone else's mercy again, or worry about living expenses. Just as I was about to speak, comments suddenly appeared before my eyes. Holy crap. What kind of insane luck did the supporting character get? He actually saved a snake Immortal? Calm down. Does he really think he is the chosen one? This is hilarious. It is all the male lead's scheme. Exactly. Do not forget brothers Yan bound him to a double reward system long ago. Hurry up and make your wish. Supporting character. One wish, and he will not make another sound. Haha. A massive fortune. Unrivaled good looks. Whatever he gets, brothers Yang gets double. That is the thrill of getting something for nothing. In an instant, it felt as though a bucket of ice water had been dumped over my head. From the comments, I learned that my world was a male-centric wish fulfillment novel. Beixian was the brothers Yan they mentioned, the male lead of this novel. 3 years ago, he had already bound me to the double reward system. Whenever one of my wishes came true, he would receive double the reward. So many questions I had ignored finally had answers. Why was it that whenever I made even a small achievement, he was always luckier than me? Why did the harder I worked, the more brilliantly he shone? Why did he always seem to kindly encourage me to make wishes, and constantly urge me to work harder? So that was it. I had long since fallen into the trap he so carefully laid. The harder I worked, the luckier he became? I cast a cold glance at the bed across from mine. Beixian's eyelids trembled slightly. A barely visible smile lingered on his lips. He was not asleep at all. He was waiting for me to make a wish. When I did not speak for a long time, the snake Immortal could not help urging me to hurry. The comments flooded in as well. This snake Immortal is really shady. He keeps urging the supporting character to wish, but says not one word about the side effects. Exactly. The supporting character is such an idiot. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Wishes always come at a price, especially wishes that defy fate. If a wish affects others or the world too greatly, it damages your spiritual merit, and may even trigger severe backlash. At best, bad luck and financial loss. At worst, well, you can imagine. I can already see the supporting character's miserable fate. He will not live much longer. But brothers Yan will be just fine. After all, the supporting character is the one making the wishes, so the supporting character takes the backlash. Brothers Yan gets double the rewards with no downside. What a sweet deal. Overwhelming terror and lingering dread hit me at once. No wonder Beixian would let such a good thing fall into my lap. According to the original plot described in the comments, under such extreme unfairness and comparison, my mindset would gradually crumble. I would become jealous and twisted, eventually turning into a vicious villain. I would go mad trying to frame Beixian, only to be rejected by my biological parents, and tortured to death by Beixian's supporters, dying miserably in the streets. Meanwhile, Beixian would step over my corpse, to become a business tycoon with top-tier looks, amassing immense wealth and countless beautiful women at his side. As he reached the pinnacle of life, anger, like molten lava, churned in my chest. I knew Beixian's place in our parents' hearts. I never dreamed of replacing him. All I wanted was a tiny bit of the love and fair treatment owed to a biological son. Yet even so, he still saw me as a thorn in his side. He meant to exploit me without mercy, to drain me completely dry. Since I would be forced down the path of villainy either way, I might as well strike first and turn his scheme against him. I lowered my gaze slightly. Lord Snake Immortal, I have made my decision. My first wish. I wish to get 8 full hours of sleep every day. Just after my freshman year began, I accidentally saved a little snake. That night, it came to find me in my dorm. It said it was a snake Immortal, and to repay me, could grant me 3 wishes. I was ecstatic. Just as I was about to speak, comments suddenly drifted before my eyes. Go ahead, supporting character. Make 1 wish, and you will be dead silent. I cannot stop laughing. This is all the male lead's scheme. The male lead bound the supporting character to a double reward system long ago. Whatever he wishes for, the male lead gets double. Who understands the joy of getting something for nothing? The male lead will effortlessly gain a massive fortune and unrivaled good looks. He will win over hordes of female fans, while the supporting character suffers terrible backlash and meets an utterly miserable end. The words, 100 million yuan, died on my lips. I abruptly changed course. I wished to get 8 full hours of sleep every day. When they saw that my wish was for 8 hours of sleep, the comments were instantly flooded with question marks and exclamation points. Has the supporting character lost his mind? What the hell kind of wish is that? No wonder your parents think you are not fit to be seen in public. You do not want a vast fortune or unrivaled looks. You just want a good night's sleep. Did you get your head slammed in a door? The supporting character is so obsessed with status. I thought his first wish would be to win a lottery jackpot of 100 million yuan. Unbelievable. Brothers Yan was all ready to receive double the wealth and godlike looks. And this is what he gets. Even with an opportunity handed to you, you blow it. All you know is sleep, sleep, sleep. Were you a pig demon reincarnated or what? The materialistic label in the comments probably referred to what happened earlier that day. Because of money, my mother and I had the fiercest argument we had ever had. Through tears, I demanded of her, why did she give Beixian 8,000 yuan a month for living expenses, but give me only 800? My mother replied coldly, Gunan, you need to understand this. Beixian is the Gu family's heir. We brought you back into the Gu family because we expect you to become his right-hand man someday. Not so you can live in luxury as the young master. You are already 18, under the law. We have no obligation to keep supporting you. On the contrary, you are now obligated to support us. In that moment, my heart sank to rock bottom. My mother sneered again. Is 800 yuan really so little? Back in that poor mountain village, you probably did not get 800 yuan and spending money all year. Besides, you share a dorm with Beixian. Who gets the money makes no difference, as long as you take good care of Beixian. Do you really think he would watch you starve to death? My eyes reddened with fury. I would be thanking heaven if Beixian did not kick me while I was down. How could he possibly help me? I could only afford the cheapest vegetables in the cafeteria, while Beixian casually spent over 1,000 yuan on one late-night meal. He always led our other two roommates in mocking me. The thought tore my heart to pieces. So, for the first time, I defied my mother. I demanded equal treatment, 8,000 yuan a month for my living expenses too, or I would never return to the Gu family. The outcome was predictable. She coldly tossed out one sentence, come home if you want, or do not. The Gu family does not need a son like you. To the commoners, this was ironclad proof that I was materialistic. A flicker of surprise crossed the snake Immortal's eyes. It seemed somewhat disappointed, but said nothing more. Silver light glowed from its body as it said, as you wish. The gentle silver light entered between my brows, bringing indescribable comfort. At almost the same moment, Beixian, in the bed across from mine, suddenly widened his eyes. They were filled with shock and swiftly rising rage. He seemed ready to curse me, but the instant he opened his mouth, an invisible force seemed to seize him tightly. His eyes rolled back, and his body crashed backward out of his control. Then earth-shaking snores erupted. Now the commoners finally saw what a real pig demon reborn looked like. I still did not know what the commoners meant by backlash. To be safe, I asked the snake Immortal to save my remaining two wishes. The snake Immortal looked deeply into my eyes, and could only nod in agreement. It transformed into a barely visible silver snake mark, and silently settled on the inside of my wrist. The next morning, my body clock woke me right on time. 8 hours of deep sleep worked instantly. I felt utterly refreshed, with days of fatigue swept away. Meanwhile, my other two roommates looked as if their life force had been drained. Dark circles hung beneath their eyes, as they yawned and climbed groggily from their beds. When they saw me fully dressed and making my bed, Zhao Lei could not help rolling his eyes at me. I seriously cannot believe you, Gunan. Are you a pig? The snoring in this dorm was so loud. How did you sleep so peacefully? Li Ming pressed his temples and weakly agreed. Yeah, damn it. It was so loud I barely slept a wink all night. My head is killing me. I turned toward them, my face cold. Cannot help it. I have always slept well. My reply choked them up, and their faces darkened further. They stopped paying attention to me, and instead shook the still sleeping Beixian together. But no matter how they shook or called to him, Beixian did not react at all. They checked whether he was breathing, and even pinched beneath his nose. But Beixian merely waved them off impatiently, rolled over, and began snoring even louder. I hummed a tune as I left first, feeling better than I ever had before. Seeing they were running out of time, the two roommates gave up trying to wake Beixian. They hurriedly got ready and rushed out the dorm door. The result was obvious. Because they were late, Their ruthless drill instructor punished them with 200 squats. They were left panting from exhaustion, and their resentment toward Beixian deepened even further. As for Beixian, it was not until afternoon training was nearly over that he slipped into formation in a panic, his hair sticking up like a bird's nest. Such blatant defiance. How could the instructor tolerate it? He gave Beixian the full punishment package, 50 laps around the track, with no rest until he finished. Beixian had been spoiled since childhood. When had he ever endured such hardship? After only a few laps, his face turned deathly pale. His steps faltered. In the end, the counselor could not bear to watch any longer. He reluctantly stepped in to plead for him. Only then did the instructor reluctantly let him stop. But he ordered him to submit a 5,000-word written reflection by tomorrow. It was after 10 that night, and the dorm building was nearly locked up. When Beixian finally dragged his nearly broken body back, he was dead on his feet, and crawled back to the dorm, leaning against the wall. The moment he entered, he saw Zhao Lei and Li Ming lounging on their beds, watching videos and gaming. The rage he had bottled up all day finally exploded. Zhao Lei was already furious over the squats, and he blew up the instant he heard that. Do you have any sense at all? We tried to wake you for at least half an hour. We nearly yelled ourselves hoarse. You slept like a dead pig, and you have the nerve to blame us. Exactly. We thought something had happened to you. We almost called emergency services. But you snored loud enough to shake the walls. You kept us up all night. Beixian shouted back, trembling with rage. Who was snoring? You are talking nonsense. I get it now. You must be jealous of me. You are deliberately ruining my reputation. After all, I treated you to like brothers. I even bought you such expensive Japanese food. How dare you treat me like this? His two roommates were not pushovers either. How could they tolerate him turning the tables on them? They soon began arguing with Beixian. Who is jealous of you? Do you not know whether you snore? Li Ming chimed in as well. Exactly. You think a few small favors make us your lapdogs? Dream on. The three argue fiercely, on the verge of coming to blows. Students from neighboring dorms rushed over to break it up. Beixian's face turned livid with rage. He demanded that the two of them pay him back. Zhao Lei and Li Ming called him broke and accused him of pretending to be rich. Shameless jerk. They even said they would record his snoring and play it for everyone, so he could not deny it later. That completely lit the fuse. At the height of their argument, Beixian's voice suddenly cut off. Then he toppled over stiff as a board. Oh, midnight had arrived. The dorm immediately descended into chaos. The two roommates went pale with fright. Then that familiar snoring echoed through the dorm again. Everyone looked as though they had swallowed a fly, both speechless and amused. They could only scramble to carry Beixian onto his bed. The two roommates exchanged looks, their faces alternating between green and white. When they saw I had just lain down asleep, a surge of anger rose in them. Gunan, are you dead or what? Are you not the poor student sponsored by the Gu family? Beixian is like this, and you will not do anything. A sponsored poor student? So, behind my back, Beixian had introduced me this way. I abruptly sat up in my top bunk, looking down at them as I said, he is asleep, not dead. We have military training tomorrow. I have no obligation to stay up all night with you. Besides, I cleared my throat. I am not a poor student sponsored by the Gu family. I am the Gu family's biological son. Beixian is the adopted son. After saying that, I ignored their stunned expressions. I drew my bed curtains again. Behind me came everyone's hushed murmurs, along with Beixian's steady snores. The next day, news of Beixian's bizarre sudden illness that forced him to sleep 16 hours a day quickly spread throughout the academy. Once the embarrassing news got out, Beixian finally could not take it anymore and stopped me outside the dorm building. He stormed up to me. His face was dark. His once handsome features were slightly distorted. He practically growled through gritted teeth. Gunan, you bastard. You know, do you not? You did this to me on purpose, did you not? I answered without much interest. No, what? That you often badmouth me in front of mom and dad, hinting that they should throw me out of the family. That you spread rumors that I am a poor student sponsored by the Gu family, and encourage our roommates to isolate me. I paused, then gave a cold smile. Or that you snore and talk in your sleep. I would know that without trying. Would I not? He trembled with fury. His vicious eyes were like poison-coated blades. Do not play dumb with me. What bullshit wish did you make to the snake Immortal? I order you to take it back immediately. The floating comments above his head went wild in agreement. constantly calling me shameless and unscrupulous. I sneered inwardly, but looked even more innocent. What snake immortal? Did sleeping too much make you stupid? Or have you read so many novels that you are hallucinating? Go see a neurologist. Seeing that I would not budge, Beixian was so furious his face twisted. Fine. You will not admit it, right? Fine. I will call our mom right now. Starting today, you will not get even that 800 yuan allowance. Let us see how long you can keep acting tough. He meant it. Right in front of me, he called my mother. His voice was full of grievance. Mom, my brother is bullying me. He pointed at my face and called me a bastard. And now he wants to steal my allowance. Mom, I can barely survive at school anymore. His talent for twisting the truth was as masterful as ever. On the other end of the line, my mother immediately raised her voice. What? He has gone too far. Sweetheart, do not be upset. I will cut off his allowance right now. He will not get a single cent. Let him fend for himself. After hanging up, Beixian instantly resumed his cold sneer. He smugly lifted his chin. Did you hear that? Gunan, you do not have a cent now. If you know what is good for you, on your knees and kowtow to beg my forgiveness. If I am in a good mood, I might even toss you something to eat. Malice practically overflowed from his face. The floating comments erupted in celebration. Brothers Yan is so smart. Cut off the male supporting character's allowance completely. And he can only wish the snake immortal to make him rich overnight. Exactly. Blame the Gu family for being so stingy. They have a fortune worth hundreds of millions of yuan, yet they give brothers Yan such a tiny allowance. 8,000 yuan is not even enough to buy a watch. They say brothers Yan will inherit the family business someday, but they still look down on him for being adopted, do they not? Luckily, brothers Yan is clever. He gave his adoptive mother a drug to make her infertile long ago. Otherwise, if the Gu family had another biological son all these years, the inheritance would surely have been lost. As I wondered what kind of deranged those commenters were spouting, I was secretly horrified. To monopolize the family fortune, Beixian had actually given my mother drugs to make her infertile. If my mother learned what her beloved adopted son had done, I wondered what she would think. I did not give Beixian what he wanted. By looking panicked or pleading as I had before, I simply looked at him calmly, with a smile that was not quite a smile. Beixian, have you ever heard this saying? Those who do evil bring ruin on themselves. Whoever laughs last, laughs best. With that, I walked around him and headed straight into the dorm building. Being penniless was certainly inconvenient, but I was not worried at all, because I knew a perfect chance to strike back was coming soon. At the freshman welcome gala, according to the floating comments, in the original plot, I would try to outshine Beixian by wishing to become incredibly handsome. Because of my wish, Beixian would become twice as handsome. With his suddenly godlike appearance, he would stun everyone during the freshman representative speech. He would become the undisputed campus heartthrob. He would unexpectedly go viral online, amassing a huge following of female fans who saw him as their boyfriend. Since you want good looks so badly, I will give you a surprise. The auditorium was packed. The atmosphere was electric. News that the school's hottest guy would speak as the freshman representative spread like wildfire. Many upper-class women came just to see him. They all wanted a glimpse of the campus heartthrob. But as his time to go on stage drew near, Beixian's appearance still had not changed. So he came to provoke me again. Gunan, you were originally chosen as the freshman representative. Do you know why the teachers replaced you with me? Seeing that I could not be bothered with him, he continued on his own. Is it not because I look better and carry myself better than you? You are not as handsome as me. You do not have my presence. You are destined to live in my shadow forever, with me grinding you beneath my feet. Even without the floating comments, I knew this was a provocation meant to rile me up. I pretended he had gotten to me, clenching my fist as I said, do not get smug in front of me. Maybe I will transform overnight and suddenly become incredibly handsome. At my words, a triumphant flicker of a smile crossed Beixian's face. He gave me a meaningful look. Is that so? Then I will be waiting. With that, he returned to his seat, thoroughly satisfied. His back was even straighter than before, and I did not disappoint him. After taking a deep breath, I summoned the snake immortal and made my second wish. I wish to keep my weight at around 70 kilograms. The snake immortal's expression turned complicated as it said, as you wish. The floating comments exploded again. I am dying of laughter. Who makes a wish like that? Did the supporting male character's wish come true? Why does he look exactly the same to me? You are right. He really has not changed at all. Still, the supporting male character is just a little unfashionable, but that face is flawless. Wait. The male lead is in trouble. Now, please welcome freshman representative Beixian to the stage. Thunderous applause erupted from the audience, along with whistles and cheers. Everyone craned their necks, eager to see the campus heartthrob's face. Beixian walked step by step toward center stage. He could clearly feel a strange energy coursing through his body. His features were subtly shifting. He could barely contain his wild joy. He thought to himself, "Today, I will stun everyone." But when the audience got a clear look at Beixian on stage, an eerie silence fell over the room. Beixian was very pleased. He assumed everyone was speechless from the shock of his stunning face. But he soon realized something was wrong. Why were their eyes not filled with admiration, but terror? He instinctively looked down. His formerly tall, well-proportioned frame had somehow expanded dramatically. His arms had become round and thick as well. After a moment of stunned silence, the audience suddenly burst into thunderous laughter. People whispered to one another, "Does this school not have any men? How could they pick such an ugly freak as campus heartthrob?" The faculty advisor rushed on stage in a panic. He dragged Beixian off stage. The farce of the freshman welcome gala was like a hurricane, sweeping through the entire campus and social media. This drastic fall from glory to disgrace drove the already arrogant Beixian completely mad. After a series of exhaustive tests, the doctors concluded sudden, unexplained severe edema and tissue overgrowth. They recommended he remain in the hospital for observation. My parents were heartbroken. They swore they would cure him. But Beixian knew full well that this had to be my doing again. He immediately stormed back to the dorm. The moment he saw me, he cursed. "Gunan, you monster! You bastard! You will die a miserable death." I looked at him with deep pity, but my voice was a demon's whisper. "Beixian, it seems you still do not understand the situation." After a pause, I continued. "Suppose I told the snake Immortal, my third wish is to keep my blood pressure between 80 and 120. What would happen?" The fury on his face instantly froze. His body began trembling uncontrollably. You know everything," he said in terror. "Brother, please, you are my brother. Your little brother was foolish. Please forgive me." With that, he scurried shamefully out of the dorm. That weekend, a phone call summoned me back to the residence. The villa's oppressive atmosphere was suffocating. My father sat on the sofa at the head of the room, his face livid. His tone was colder and harsher than ever. "Get on your knees." My mother sat to one side, wiping away tears. Her eyes held nothing but blame and disappointment. Beixian sat close beside her, his eyes red-rimmed. When he saw me, he flinched and shrank back, as though I were some monstrous beast. I remained standing and said, "Dad, what did I do wrong, that I need to kneel?" My father snapped, "You have the nerve to ask. You were jealous that your brother was the freshman representative. So you used such despicable means to drug him and make a fool of him. You have disgraced the family." My mother joined in through tears. "Gunan, how can you be so cruel? What has Beixian ever done to wrong you? Why would you hurt him like this? He is your brother." I let out a cold laugh. "I hurt him. What makes you so certain I did it? Just because he cries in front of you and acts sweet." Then Beixian spoke again. "Mom, Dad, I know I was wrong. I should not have competed with my brother. He is your biological son. I think I should leave. If this continues, I am afraid I will lose my life." My parents immediately grew alert. "What do you mean?" Beixian wept as if his heart were broken. "He threatened me. He said he wants revenge because I took the life of luxury that should have been his for so many years. He said this is only a small lesson. If I ever dare fight him for the inheritance, he will make sure I meet a violent end. Boo-hoo. I am only 18. I do not want to die." My father flew into a rage. "What? Gunan, you really are an ungrateful, heartless wretch. For the sake of the inheritance, you actually want your brother dead." My mother cursed at me too. "Get out of here now. Had I known this, I never should have given birth to you." "Fine, I will go. I do not need parents as biased as you, either." My voice was calm. Without looking back, I left the residence. My resolute departure only fueled my parents' rage. To comfort Beixian and crush any remaining hopes I had. They decided to settle things once and for all. 1 week later, they held the lavish coming-of-age ceremony for Gu Beixian's 18th birthday. At the height of the banquet, my mother publicly declared Gu Beixian the Gu family's sole heir. For such a perfect chance to humiliate me. Of course, they did not forget to send me an invitation. They wanted me, their discarded son, to witness them laying every honor and fortune at Gu Beixian's feet. They wanted to watch me suffer in regret and jealousy. Too bad I never showed up. Instead, I gave the invitation to a delivery runner. Once I confirmed all the assets had been transferred to Gu Beixian, I had him deliver the grand gifts to my dear mother. The first was a paternity test for my father and Gu Beixian. The comments had not lied to me. Gu Beixian was never some orphan from a welfare home. He was my father's illegitimate son with his mistress. When my father was young, he and his mistress were deeply in love. But later, he wanted an easy life. So he turned around and married my mother. Behind her back, he continued his affair with his mistress. With my mother's support over the years, my father's career flourished. But my mother always kept a firm grip on the shares and family assets. So they disguised their illegitimate son as an orphan and brought him into the Gu family. He took my place as the Gu family's true son, all to seize the assets under her name. As for why child traffickers had taken me so easily back then, the suspicious details were terrifying to think about. That paternity report was like a bombshell, instantly unleashing a tidal wave of chaos. My mother could not bear the blow. She nearly fainted on the spot, and that was not the end. The second grand gift was irrefutable proof that Gu Beixian had secretly drugged her to make her infertile. This time, my mother was completely shattered. She had thought herself shrewd her entire life. Only now did she realize that the family she loved and trusted most had conspired against her. She had not only raised her husband's mistress's son, but handed over everything she had worked half her life to build. She had become everyone's laughingstock. The overwhelming betrayal and humiliation made her break down on the spot. The once glamorous coming-of-age celebration ended in a shocking, all-out scandal. It became the circle's favorite joke for years. Later, my father and his mistress were suspected of conspiring with child traffickers to abduct and sell children, as well as embezzlement, and my mother personally turned them over to the police. As for Gu Beixian, because he had been underage when he committed the drugging, and it was his first offense, he narrowly avoided criminal detention. But my mother's revenge was far from over. She filed a whistleblower report under her real name. She exposed the fraud in Gu Beixian's eligibility for direct admission. The school reacted swiftly. They expelled him. But no matter what, the asset transfer had already been completed. Gu Beixian still received nearly all of the Gu family's wealth. With a pig-like face, black and blue from my mother's beating, he swaggered up to me once again. "Gunan, you vicious, scheming bastard. Did you think exposing my identity would bring me down? You are too late. The entire family fortune is mine." I merely looked at him coldly. "Oh, are you celebrating a little too soon? Do not forget, I still have one final wish. To surpass you would take no time at all." Gu Beixian's eyes suddenly lit up. He forcibly suppressed his wild delight. His face was full of provocation. "If you have the guts, make your wish now. No matter how much money you wish for, I will get double." "Fine, then I will grant your wish." With that, right before Gu Beixian, I summoned the snake Immortal for the last time. I said slowly, "My third wish. During my waking hours each day, my bank account will legally earn 100,000 yuan every hour." Gu Beixian froze for a moment, then burst into piercing laughter. "Gunan, has rage driven you stupid? I am only awake 8 hours a day, but I have the doubling system. I can still earn 1.6 million. You think this can surpass me? Maybe in your next life." I ignored him and continued slowly. "Also, while I am asleep, have 200,000 yuan transferred to my brother every hour." Once my wish was made, even the comments were stunned. Math Genius 66 began calculating frantically. He sleeps 8 hours a day, earning 200,000 yuan an hour, then transfers brother's yuan to 100,000 yuan every hour. Would that not leave him without a cent? All the money goes into brother Xian's pocket. Wait, something is not right. His wish was to transfer 100,000 yuan to his brother. But brother Xian's brother is Gunan. That means brother's yuan has to transfer him double. So, while he is asleep, he has to transfer Gunan for 100,000 yuan every hour. By that calculation, the supporting character nets 6.4 million yuan a day. While Brothers Yan loses 3.2 million yuan a day. Supporting character, have some decency. At this rate, in less than 3 months, you will drain Brother Xian's entire fortune. At that moment, Beixian finally understood. The smug look on his face froze. The next moment, the world spun around him. Then he toppled over stiffly and fainted. The snake Immortal fulfilled my 3 wishes and reluctantly slipped off my wrist. Its eyes were no longer as clear and lively as when we first met. They seemed to have lost all life, its spiritual energy gradually fading away. The comments told me it was not truly a snake Immortal. More accurately, it was a snake demon. On the surface, it expended its own cultivation to help its host fulfill wishes, but its true purpose was to absorb the host's negative energy when the backlash struck, thereby strengthening its demonic power. Unfortunately, this time, it had encountered me. My first 2 wishes had not affected anyone else, and Beixian was still the sole beneficiary of my 3rd wish. If anyone suffered backlash, it would be Beixian. But the snake demon could not directly absorb energy from Beixian. It had wasted centuries of cultivation for nothing. From then on, it would likely never harm anyone again. Beixian's feigning spell lasted exactly 16 hours. When he woke, the first thing he did was check his bank account. Sure enough, 3.2 million yuan was gone. He was furious. He decided to stop at nothing. He hired an assassin to take my life. Unfortunately, he was short on funds. He could not even pay the assassin's deposit. I easily turned the assassin against him, obtained proof that he had hired someone to murder me, and formally pressed charges against him. In the end, Beixian was sentenced to 20 years in prison. He joined his biological father and mother behind bars.